So human rights abuses here in the Gulf. In the Yemen, thousands of innocent civilians killed and we're selling weapons to Saudi Arabia. Very straightforwardly, are we selling our principles for profits and influence?
No, what is important is that we are able to raise these human rights issues with Gulf states and indeed other states around the world where we have concerns. But in order to be able to do that, we need to be able to engage with those states. That's what I'm doing here in the Gulf. I'll be meeting the leaders of the 6 Gulf states. But also it's important for us to ensure that as we build a more global role for the United Kingdom, that we are looking at interacting with these states on other issues as well, such as our trade and our prosperity. We have long-standing relationships with the Gulf. That enables us to engage with them on difficult issues like human rights, but it's only because of those relationships that we're able to do that.
And on the broader context, minister after minister tell us now that we may well be willing as a country to pay for access to the European market. Is that just sensible give and take, or were the British people misled?
What people voted for was to ensure that we have control of our borders, control of our laws, control of how we spend our money, and that we leave the European Union. We're working across government to ensure that when we leave the European Union, we get the best deal for the UK. And
Even
people
if
talk
that
about
means paying for access.
people talk about the sort of Brexit that there is going to be. Is it hard, soft? Is it grey, white? Actually, we want a red, white and blue Brexit. That is the right Brexit for the United Kingdom, the right deal for the United Kingdom. I'm ambitious for what we can achieve because I believe that a deal that is right for the United Kingdom will also be a deal that is right for the European Union.
And it might be right to pay for some access to that market.
I'm ambitious for what we can achieve in terms of the deal that we will get with the European Union. That's why, of course, we're going to be entering into negotiations with the European Union, but I really believe that we can get the right deal for the UK and that will also be a good deal for the EU.
And you are now willing, Prime Minister, are you, to give Parliament, to give MPs more detail of your ambitions for the coming EU exit negotiations?
Well, I've always said to Parliament that Parliament will have many opportunities to have their say on these issues, but that also, when it is possible for me to set out more detail, then I will do so. That's why I've already said we will be triggering Article 50 by the end of March. We will bring EU law into UK law at the point at which we leave the European Union, and we will continue to operate on that basis. But I'm going to keep some cards close to my chest. I'm sure everybody will realise that in a negotiation you don't give everything away. It's important that we are able to achieve the right deal for the UK. What's also important is that this government is going to deliver on the vote of the British people to leave the European Union.
And finally, will the Supreme Court verdict, whatever it happens to be, will it make any difference to the outcome of your position on the negotiations?
Well, we wait to hear what the Supreme Court judgment is going to be, but I'm clear that what the government will be delivering and what Parliament will be delivering is on the will of the British people. Parliament gave the vote to people in the referendum on the 23rd of June. Overwhelmingly, Parliament voted for the British people to make their choice. They've done that. They've said we want to leave the European Union. The government will deliver on the vote of the British people.